Night has fallen and you're weary from travel. Stars fill the sky above, and in front of you is a brightly lit wooden house, the only building you've seen for days.
Hey everyone, welcome to Where the Water Tastes Like Wine. I know this is really abrupt here, but that's how it started. There's no menu or anything, it just put me right here. This is a game about traveling through Depression-era United States, meeting people in all the areas you go to, and learning their stories, which will be based off American folklore. Honestly, my knowledge of American folklore is pretty much non-existent outside of Paul Bunyan? So I'm guessing that I'm not going to be able to catch many references to the stories that we're looking at here. One more really interesting thing about this game is that there is a really prolific voice actor on this. And I'm not talking about Troy Baker or Nolan North. I'm talking about Sting. Like, the Sting? I don't know how they got him on this project, but he's in here.
You walk toward the house, hearing the sounds of laughter and talk as you reach the door and push it open. You sit down and join the game. It's a cheap buy-in, and not many of the other players are very good.
Sounds like a good way to make a quick buck.
The lady fiddling with dice gets good cards, but has no real strategy. The man to your right seems to just hold on to the highest cards he has, regardless of suit or any consideration of matches. The man in gray across from you, though, he's good. He already had the largest pile of coins when you bought in, and while your winnings grow quickly, you can't quite catch him. One by one, the other players leave the table, sometimes with pique or with wry humor, leaving their winnings with you or the man in gray.
Did someone offer a crow's feather as bettings?
Finally, it's just you and the man in gray. He looks at you, full of humor, and winks. Last hand?
In case if you're wondering, there's actually no choice yet, so I have to go all in.
He deals, you draw, and look at your hand. It's good. It's great. The best hand, in fact. A royal straight flush. Spades. Aces high. But the man in gray pushes forward his whole pile. You're not sure exactly how much it is, but it's more than you've got. You can't match that.
Damn.
The man in gray stops you. Now, if you like, I'll let you wager your word. I know you'll be good for it. Just promise you'll pay the debt, however I ask.
Oh, so we can still go in if we want to? That seems like the more adventurous decision here, but who knows what this guy will ask us to do?
Yep. 10, Jack, Queen, King, Ace. All spades.
And we can't.
The man in gray smiles. All right, then. I'll call.
Who can beat that? Oh my god. Wait, what were his cards? I think he won.
Well, your luck wasn't so good, was it? That's quite the hand, but not for the game we're playing. I'm afraid you owe me. Your life, sure. But more than that, your labor.
That's Sting! That's Sting right there!
You see, this land is built on stories. It's one big story, this country, woven of many small ones. Few of the small ones are strictly true, and the big story is mostly a lie. All the stories and songs and myths and legends start somewhere, with a seed. As they're told and retold and passed around, they grow and change to become the stories we know. To pay your debt to me, you'll be carrying stories, finding the seeds first and then spreading them, telling them onwards so they can begin gaining strength. This is no light task. Stories are heavy. Most of the stories you'll find will be small seeds. They might be true, but they'll grow wild and unbelievable with the telling.
So I guess the stories growing wild is what makes up folklore. It's like a long game of telephone.
The more important stories are the true ones, the ones people will tell you about their own lives. Those often get lost in the weaves of the big story. The more true stories you can find and tell, the more you can weave that truth into the big story. Tarnish it a bit perhaps, but isn't a dingy and battered truth better than a shining lie?
Debatable.
Now, go ahead. You tell me a story. I'll trade you some information about your task.
Oh. As far as I can tell, I can't, Oh, okay. 3 of staves, travel. Justice, choice, morality. The world, heaven, desires fulfilled, wishes come true. Wheel of fortune, fortune, fate, luck. The tower, death, change, endings, moving on. Okay, that's what I got right now. I guess we can just do whatever, right? Let's try this one. Tell the story of the endless series of doors of different kinds, each leading only to more doors. Ooh, okay. So we can see a description of them. This one, travel. The story of the northbound train, blinking its giant eye as it crawls through the night. The story of the parting of a cloud of fog to reveal a brief glimpse of a land of promise and plenty. The story of tossing a pair of bone dice on a blood-red velvet table. They come up snake eyes and wink at you. Ooh. The story of a black and gray city, where every building is filled with desiccated corpses. Ooh. Okay, I like this one. The one with the door. Let's try this one.
You sometimes have to make choices about what kind of story you're finding. Is it a love story or a tragedy? Don't gather too many of one kind, though. This grand story needs variety.
Okay. Are you telling me that my end objective here is to fill up this wheel? I'm not sure what's going on right now. I guess I told the story, but I didn't really even get to... Oh, now that I told the story, the card is gone. Okay, let's try telling the travel one.
Travel? That's your job. Wander from place to place, gather those stories and spread them.
Okay.
People get bored hearing the same stories over and over. But an old cliché in one state might be a rip-roaring new yarn in another.
I guess we just go in order, and this is like a mini tutorial telling us what we gotta do.
Your deepest desires? Your greatest wish? Heaven? Big Rock Candy Mountain? El Dorado, the Promised Land, that place just over the ridge where they all say that the water tastes just like the sweetest wine.
Oh.
Well, I don't know where that is. It's supposed to be somewhere in this country. Ask the people you meet. They're all searching for the same thing.
Do we just exit, or... Like, I'm not sure why we're just telling him these stories yet. I guess we'll just keep going.
It's just luck. Funny how bad luck seems to follow the folks who already have problems aplenty. Well, try your luck out there in this country. See how the dice treat you. It's not all bad. You'll have to work hard, but I'll give you the gift for seeing the true shapes of people. Not many who can do that. I'll strip away your flesh to make the journey easier, but still you'll feel pain. Hunger, weariness, thirst, and despair. They're all part of stories, the part not often told.
'Cause it's not glamorous.
And death, yes. But don't worry. As long as your task remains, you come back. Go on your way, Seeker. Maybe we'll meet again, or maybe not. Either way, it'll be an experience for you. I'm jealous in some ways. I hope you find what you're looking for.
And now we set off. Oh, yes. We have that 2D art style, but the traveling apparently is 3D. Oh, look at me. I can walk around. I guess I'll just follow the road here. This is Depression era United States. Everything is very barren. There's a house here.
This bungalow is being ransacked. There's furniture piled in the front yard, ammunition heaped under the mailbox, and a crowd of clean-cut men ripping apart a car in the driveway.
That's strange.
The two heavily armed, mud-caked women leaning over the porch railing share the same bored grin. One shouts at you. "Lend a couple innocent gals a cigarette?"
Sure.
You are about to hand her a smoke when those men draw pistols and shove you hard into the dirt. "You know these girls?" they demand.
I was too trusting.
Once they've dumped your bag out into the road, they
Shit.
decide you're harmless. "If you were selling booze too, you'd have a lot more cash," sneers one. On the porch behind him, the two bootleggers are fingering their empty rifles, grinning in disappointment.
Let's move on. New story about the woman arrested for bootlegging. So we're gonna visit point from point on this map here and hope that we run into stories. Oh my god, that's the border to Canada. Can we actually go to Canada? Oh, so we're starting from East Coast then. Okay. No, we can't go to Canada, unfortunately. Gotta stay here. Alright. Well, it's pretty much just barren-looking lands and forest here. We gotta find something that looks like a house at least. Maybe over there? Oh, there's some stuff here too. Actually, if that's the border, we can go way down below here, and it'll still be okay. Well, it seems like there's something right there. Let's get going. I'm a bit of a slow walker because we're traveling cross-country right now.
Off the road and into the woods, you can't help but come across this package by the old tree tied to a sturdy stick. The cloth wrapping conceals, though not particularly well, something large and softly unsettled. Little eyes blink back at you from inside the bundle.
A baby? Abandoned?
The shape gives a start. "Please don't tell my pa that I'm in here," it says in a small voice.
Why not?
"Pa doesn't want to live with us anymore, but I want to go with him. Don't tell him, please. I'm hiding.
Oh, but you're gonna leave home. So whenever we choose a choice, the icon in the middle changes. Is that just an art portrait, or does that mean something? I don't quite know yet. Does it represent the type of story? I don't know the icon, so... let's look for his dad.
His father must have been here at some point, but you sure can't see him now. Please go. He's coming back any minute, says the boy, growing agitated. He's gonna see you talking to me. Please, go! He only calms down when you leave. You don't see another soul for miles.
If this is all during Depression era, I wonder if the dad is leaving home because they can't sustain their household or something like that. Yeah, 1930s is not really an era that I'm familiar with, so I'm gonna have to really use my imagination here. The boy who ran away with his father, and I couldn't stop him no matter what. Wanna go to Portland? Hey, if we're going to Portland, and we're pretty close to Seattle and Canada again, up in the west. So we're in the west already! Wow, that was a fast trek. It's actually getting close to nighttime now, though. Let me just see if I can make it there by nighttime.
They don't come every year, you know. The old man is sitting at the edge of a rotting old pier, crooked legs dangling over the water. He watches a pair of seagulls preen and groom each other on a rock just off the shore.
Why?
Just when the fishing is going to be good. He taps great, black, thick globs of spent tobacco out of a huge ceramic pipe. I got another year, I guess.
One more year of what? Fish being plentiful?
Another year of this town being here, he replies, letting a grin spread across his face. If the seagulls came, that means enough fish to keep it in place.
A lot of people worrying about living during this time. The seagulls and the fishermen. Oh, what does that say? Maine and New Hampshire.
The woman walks the small town square with the poise of Betty Davis. A confident stride and inimitable mannerisms elevating the sidewalk into a plush Hollywood carpet. And wrapped around her neck, a yellow velvet ribbon, bright as an ocean sunrise. You question a well-dressed man parked outside an oyster house. Prudish woman. I took her on a fine date and she didn't remove so much as a ribbon. Excuse me, can you step back from the coupe? That's the spirit. You decide to seek a second opinion. You talk with a waitress smoking outside a diner. Something funny about her. Just showed up one day. Doesn't work, doesn't live anywhere as far as I know. Just around. Myself, I'd love to know who made all her beautiful clothes.
Sounds like she might be rich if she doesn't need to work and she wears nice clothes. Why don't we just talk to her and ask?
You ask the woman if you may join her at a public bench. You may. Lovely outside, isn't it? Her eyes are a beautiful shade of brown. Beneath the yellow ribbon, a thick, fibrous scar wraps around her throat.
Whoa.
Weather like this, it reminds me of Paris.
I'm wondering if this lady actually has been to Paris, or we're all so poor around here. Why is there randomly a rich person? Is this lady delusional, or... I guess not. The elegant woman in the small town. Is there something in the lighthouse here?
You can see storm clouds on the horizon, and you don't relish the thought of being caught wandering this rocky seaside road in the rain. Fortunately, you find the lighthouse door open, with a daunting staircase before you. At the top of an ornate wrought iron spiral, you're breathless and feeling the strain on your knees. Rain already batters the walls outside. You can only knock on a heavy wooden door leading into the upper level. Muffled voices and light seep in beneath the door. "Looks like we got a visitor." Sounds like a man's voice, deep and rough.
"Well, behave yourself. I'll open the door."
Another man, this one with a higher, more sonorous voice. "I always behave myself." He feigns indignation, but his tone betrays affection instead. After a moment, the door unlatches from the inside and opens. The man before you is tall and muscular, with a hint of a paunch beneath his wide chest. The heavy iron knob on the door looks nearly dainty in his huge hand.
"Didn't want to be out in this rain, did you? Come in."
Unusually friendly. Nice to see that people still want to stick together in times like these and help others out.
Despite the rough exterior, this room looks like a well-appointed parlor. There's a rug on the well-trod wooden floor and an enormously plush couch. And sat upon it is a stocky fellow grinning through a great hazel-colored beard. "Tea?" he offers, hoisting a teapot.
Been here long?
"A few years."
The tall one sits on the sofa, wrapping his arm casually around the other lighthouse keeper. "5, says the smaller, but by no means small, man.
"That long? Time flies. We traveled together before that. You must have some good stories from the road, huh?"
Well, I have some.
You wake up the next morning on their old sofa, still warm from an excess of tea. And cakes? There might have been little cakes. Prodigious snoring rumbles in from the floor above you, and you quietly take your leave.
We spent the whole night talking about my stories, and now I'm gonna not take advantage of their hospitality. So far, it seems like we are literally just traveling across the United States and listening. Oh, okay. Hitchhike, please. Yeah, got myself a ride. Yes, thank you. Oh, there's a house out there in the ocean, though. Massachusetts. It's a little bit jittery in the 3D parts. We're gonna Boston. As I was gonna say before we got the hitchhiking ride though, not quite sure what our overall goal is. We're just getting stories, spreading them across all over the place. Maybe something's gonna change now though, because we just got to Boston and red brick, green trees, blue sky, and this weather, Boston is beautiful. That is, until you make your way deeper into the city and get lost among the cramped, winding, shadow-haunted old streets. How poor am I? Might be good to earn some money. Well, we can look around first. Can we do all of these? Hopefully.
This city is like no other you've been to. Crooked streets splay out in a maze of narrow passages, no two alike. Soon, you find yourself in twilight, utterly lost. Bright light crests around one corner, a car approaching.
Taxi cab? Do I have money for that? But at the same time, it's kind of creepy here, right? I don't want to get lost in a city I don't know. But a taxi might be pretty expensive too. Let's keep walking.
Unable to afford rescue,
Yeah.
you keep walking. The asphalt turns to crooked cobblestones that threaten to wrench your ankle out of place. Was this always a moonless night? The stars multiply, each one looking like a pinprick through which light is exiting the terrestrial world. It's hard finding your way through in pitch darkness. You go by touch and sound, feeling the scale of the streets by the echoing of your footsteps, fingers tracing the rough surface of the buildings. And then, a rumble of noise in the distance.
That could be anything.
You quiet yourself, suddenly fearful. The clear sky tells you it's not thunder, but cannon fire. The city comes alive with fires and shouting. You find yourself trampled by a mob of men in thick brown coats, a phalanx of bayonets advancing up the street.
Ah!
When you come to, there's no sign of the commotion, the war that you were just caught in. The comically shrill honk of a Model A running up the road startles you, and you crawl toward the sidewalk. Above, the sky is a sharp, cold, cloudless blue.
We're okay. Oh, all right. Oh, we almost got mugged that night, but we're okay. We're okay. Maybe we should earn some money now because we're so poor that we can't even get a taxi. You wander the streets of the city looking for a way to make some cash. Panhandle! No, let's try to use our skills. You hit 4 factories, but nobody's hiring today. Soon, you notice you're cruising around the city with the same loose group of rejected laborers, coughing men in baggy clothes, women with babies tied to their backs, an older fellow with only one hand. Ugh, nobody wants us. After the 5th factory, everyone makes a silent agreement to give up. You sit on the curb across from the factory doors and eat your sad little lunches together in silence. Screw this city, huh? Welp, guess we're not making any money. Even the locals probably have trouble making money, let alone some random guy passing by. Store? Can we buy anything? Ah, I just realized this, but the 3 icons on the side there, money, health, sleep. I think it means that I don't have money, I have good health, and I had a good night of sleep. But yeah, I don't have money. I can't buy anything, because I don't have money. God damn. God damn. And we can't go anywhere. We can't go to the Big Apple with no money. We're just leaving. God damn it. Ah, Boston was a big city. Which way did we come from? This way, yeah.
A dusty truck and a man on horseback pull up next to one another in front of the grocer. Suddenly, the driver and the rider, 2 wiry old men with identical haircuts, start shrieking at one another.
What's going on?
The man with the truck leaps into the street.
Brother!
He shouts. The one on the horse tumbles out of his saddle.
Brother!
He screams. They embrace in the road.
30 years!
Hollers the driver. The rider, tears streaming down over his face, corrects him.
No, 32!
A tearful reunion. Oh, wow.
Everyone here is watching these 2 older men cry and hug one another in the middle of Main Street. Cars and wagons are backing up. People are yelling.
Take a photo of us!
The driver begs you. Starts hauling a tripod out of the bed of his truck.
Oh, we'll be fine. Say cheese.
The long-lost brothers pose in front of traffic, cry snot pouring out of their noses. As angry passerby wave you out of the road, each brother presses a coin into your hand. When the traffic disperses, you realize they overpaid you quite a shocking amount.
Damn! You do things that you don't expect to get a reward from, and then when you get it, it's like, whoa! Wow, should've gone here before going to Boston. Thanks, guys! Two brothers who reunited, reconnected after over 30 years. Dang, it's pretty sweet. Oh, there's a train. Can we go back into Boston and try to buy something? I bet we could. Yeah, look, my money sign is full now. So if I actually wanted to go somewhere or buy something, I think I'm okay right now though. Yeah, all of my hearts are full, so I don't think I need to buy food. Yeah. See, you see the little icons on the right side here. This one gives me sleep. This one gives me health. Sleep, health. Going to a place like New York or Detroit. Maybe it's just gonna be a bigger city with more opportunities. Do I want to use up all the money I have right now though? Not quite sure about that part. I want to visit the houses right at the edge here first, and then maybe we'll think about going to New York and whatnot.
Outside the small thicket of apple trees, the phrase "tended to by John Chapman" is carved into a fence post. Nearby, a hound lies on its side, perfectly still. Flies buzz around its ears. But a grizzled man pauses at his digging to shoo them off.
If we want money, maybe we want to help him out. Tended to by John Chapman. Is that a folklore reference? I honestly wouldn't know. Should I try looking it up? John Chapman. Oh, it's Johnny Appleseed! Ah, okay. We can help him out.
There's an extra shovel. With it, the two of you make short work of the grave. He tells you about his beliefs, why he's raising apple orchards in the middle of the country. It's a sin to graft, he tells you. Hurts the tree. Eventually, the hole is deep enough. He stoops to the ground and lowers the pup into the earth. Tears flow freely. I'll see him again in heaven, he tells you. Our souls are bound by love. He wipes his eyes. I don't think I can bear to stay here, though. Maybe I'll sit out again.
Ah, so they're saying that originally he was doing this to bury his dog. Ah, John Chapman, his orchard, and his dog. What's going on at this station here? Is that the train station or camp? Oh, all of that was just a setup.
Hey there, stranger. You're welcome to enjoy this fire with me, if you're respectful, that is.
Of course I am. I'm plenty respectful.
This here is my spot, and I ain't inclined to share it with any bad characters. You can call me Quinn. These here are my venturing companions. Cass is the big un, and the one with the spots is Flip. I usually beat my way on the rails, but the road news said this town was fat, and the weather was fine. So I'm taking in the sights and seeing what I can drum up. I want a story that scares me. Now I'm older, almost nobody can do it. Give me your best shot.
Oh, I don't think I collected any scary stories. Ah, okay, I see what it is. So, I think, well, based off what I can see here, we go around listening to people, and then at some point, someone's gonna ask me to tell them a story. And that's how we spread the stories all over the place, because the person we tell it to, they're gonna spread it to other people too. Here are all the stories you've collected so far. They're organized by subject because the boss likes the tarot cards. This is the subject of each story here. If you tell this person a story about love, for example, they will tell you something about their own life relating to the subject of love. Poor things. As the night goes on, this icon will move from left to right. When it reaches the right side, the night is over, and so is your storytelling. The person you're talking to will usually tell you where they'll be next so you can find them again. If you tell them the types of stories they request, you'll gain their trust and the eyes will open. When it opens fully, the next time you meet them, they'll open up more about their life. They'll remember this from conversation to conversation, so don't feel like you need to open the eye all the way the first time you meet someone. Thanks for letting me know, because I know I would totally get super nervous about that. Dance around, get to know them. Okay, you want a scary story, boy? I really don't think I have a scary story. Authority. That is kind of scary, getting arrested for bootlegging. I have 2 past memory stories. The strange clamor on the streets of Boston. Oh, that's kind of scary. The 2 lighthouse keepers. That's about love, isn't it? Yeah. Future? That's kind of scary too because it means the town might not have a future for very long. Reunited? That seems like a love story too. Sadness. The elegant woman from Paris, stuck in Maine. There's a dead dog in this one, so that might be the saddest one. The boy who ran away with his father in Maine. Let's go for the story about the streets of Boston, although nothing really happened. It's the scariest one we've got.
Wow, that's the stuff, stranger. Spooky campfire tales are my favorite.
I'm glad you like it.
Well, I don't know a whole lot about the past, but they say there's an Injun grave around these parts. Say it's haunted and full up with angry spirits. I used to love hearing stories of cowboys and Injuns fighting it up. I'd swap tales with the youngins. But, well, I suppose if someone shot me, I'd be pretty vengeful too.
Yeah.
I want to hear one of them venturing tales. Got any?
I don't know. Adventure? Thrilling story. Adventure. Oh. If we get more stories, I'm gonna have to remember all of these, like what they actually talked about based off that little description. Adventure. Do we have any adventure stories? The woman who misses Paris? I mean, that's kind of adventurous. The boy who ran away with his father in Maine. John Chapman? The story, yeah, the women getting arrested. Oh, and we can't tell any more of this type of story. Okay, I got no clue, man. Which one's the most thrilling one? Not the one about fishing, that's for sure. The one about women getting arrested, it might be. This could be seen as thrilling, but it's not. It's more about familial love. This is filed under sadness, so even though it's about Paris, it's probably not good. Freedom! Let's go with freedom. Come on, boy. Like me, please.
Ain't life got enough tearjerkers in it without telling stories like that? Jeez.
God damn it! I don't have any adventure tales.
Freedom. Well, teacher used to talk about freedom like America was eat up with it. But the tramping kind seems to be just about the only real freedom still in supply. Ain't no freedom from an empty stomach or bad weather, unless you're rich. Hey, tell me a funny story. You seem like you still got a sense of humor.
What's that supposed to mean? Still? Funny story. Women getting arrested. That's pretty funny. Oh my god. That's not funny. There are dead dogs in this one. I don't have that many good stories, do I? I just don't think we've seen or heard enough stories to really fulfill what this guy wants all the time, which I suppose is fair. Funny story. Oh, the one about the fisher. Not the fisher. The 2 lighthouse keepers. It's closed to us because we already used one from that category. Funny? Funny? Okay, well, I'll try the women getting arrested because I really don't have a funny story. Please?
Not sure I quite follow that one. Authority, bosses and such. I ain't nobody's little Angelina if that's what you're asking. I take care of myself and my dogs. I don't need no jocker looking out for me, so if you're offering, don't. Shoot, I thought I told you to be respectful.
Man, you don't want me to tell a fake story, right?
You want to keep enjoying my spot or not? Think about that.
Will he get mad?
Hey, do you got any really thrilling stories to tell? I'm hankering for one of those.
Oh my god, I don't have a thrilling story. I'm just gonna make you upset. There's nothing thrilling about fishing. I mean, okay, we can try the family one. Oh god.
What's the use in telling sweet happy tales if in they make you snooze? My family. There ain't no way I'm gonna start jaw flapping about those bastards. Judases, the lot of them. Enough said.
Damn.
I'm in the mood for something real funny like.
Is he just repeating what he wants now? Cause I don't got a funny story, alright? Maybe we just gotta go, cause the alternative is that he gets more and more mad at me. I don't got a funny story, man! The future? Well, I guess it's kind of funny what the fisherman said about the seagulls. No? We'll give it one last try. As long as the eyes don't close, I'm okay with it.
I don't get too much out of tales that are so cheerful. Not enough excitement for me. What's my future look like? I ain't looking for a traveling companion if that's what you mean.
Okay, calm down.
I do fine by myself, so just stick to minding your own. Well, night's over. I think I'll see what's happening up the road this way.
Which way? Which way?
Didn't understand all your stories, but I'd gladly listen to more if I see you again.
Okay.
The tramping life suits me just fine. Every day's a venture. With things being so depressed, folks walk around like it's the end of everything good. But it ain't. Plenty nice things to see if and you know where to look.
The Hobo Kid. Oh. This game is very, very niche, I feel like. Even the topic, American folklore, that in itself is kind of niche. But the way it plays out and what we actually do in the game, that's sort of pretty unique as well. So this was the first little bit of where the water tastes like wine. It definitely has really, really stellar voice acting. And aside from Sting, I think there's quite a few big video game voice actor names in here too. So maybe if we play more, then we'll see more of those people. So far, aside from the Hobo Kid part, I was sort of feeling like we were going too fast by learning these stories. It was like 2 or 3 sentences, so it was like oh, okay, that's a really nice story, but I'm not really sure what I got out of that. But after the Hobo Kid showed up, I think I kinda get it now. I guess the big main part is the telling the stories to the people like the Hobo Kid that we find. And the stories that we come across, while they're important, those 2 or 3 sentence stories, those are not like the meat of the game here. I think they did a good job setting the mood with the music and the voice acting and the accents of the people and stuff, but ultimately, this era is just not one that I'm too familiar with. So maybe someone who is more familiar with that will find that they relate to this even more. Alright, so this was the first little bit of where the water tastes like wine. I hope you enjoyed watching and learning about all these stories just like I did. And I will see you all in another place, in another time.